Of Control the Controllables here live at Wimbledon. And I'm actually coming from Wimbledon itself today. So if there's any noise you're hearing in the background, that is Serena Williams, who's still on court. She's still battling away against Maya Joint here at 9 p.m. on centre court. And as ever, this episode is brought to you by Novellus, the series where we bring you analysis from inside the grounds at SW19, and our segments, the major moments, the tennis athlete player of the day, our Wimbledon stories with our special guest, who today is 2024 women's doubles finalist Erin Routliffe. In 2024, she was world number one. She is two-time US Open doubles champion as well. Won the WTA finals in 2024 with Gabby Dabrowski. Had an incredible career to date, and someone who I think we're going to enjoy chatting to today. So look forward to bringing you her as well, and with a quick fire round. And then, as ever, we're going to finish with our Dear Dan. So if you haven't got your questions in, please do get your questions in. You can send them in now via YouTube chat. You can send them in via many of the links that we have out there on all of the social media, and we'll try and get to your questions. If not tonight, then at some stage. And yeah, to start with today, I guess, if we're looking at our major moments brought to you by Soto Tennis Academy, there's lots that are happening. You know, yesterday was the day of the Brits, an unfortunate day for the British tennis players, either withdrawing from the event or the results themselves. We have had some better results by some of the Brits today, but some of the early exits and I guess the curse of doing so well on the grass courts. You know, we had Cerundolo who won Queen's Club, and he went out first round pretty comfortably to Jaime Wunar, 6-1, 6-4, 6-3. He then will now play Jacob Fernley, who I'll get to in a minute, in the second round. And then Ben Shelton, who won the ATP 500 in Stuttgart, who beat Taylor Fritz in the final. He went out in an epic match, and that was incredible. You know, the whole players' lounge was locked into that match, and he lost 6-4, 3-6, 6-7. 6-2, 7-6, 11-9 in the tiebreak. And what do you all think of that? The 10-point tiebreaks that have been playing now at Grand Slams for the last few years. I like it. It seems to bring a real excitement towards the end of that matches. It's the first time that Ben Shelton's been beaten in a 5-set match at Wimbledon. He was previously 4-0 on that. And Virtanen's a player I've said for many years, ever since I worked with Harry Heliavara. He is seriously good. He used to show up and have some great results in Davis Cup. Massive game, serves big, hits big. Has never quite put it together yet at the Grand Slams or the ATP, but he is a serious player. He will play against also another Brit, Arthur Ferry, who had a great win today in the next round. And I mentioned Jacob Fernley. We also had Toby Samuel, who lost an epic battle. I was watching on the balcony earlier today on court 3 to Jakub Mensik. 7-6 in the third. He was in the fifth. Sorry, he was a break up in the fifth set. Just kind of lost his serve at the wrong time. Couldn't find a first serve. Just in those pivotal moments when you want to find the first serve, he just didn't. And we know that can happen. It's not easy. It's not easy at the business end of these events to be able to do that. But that absolutely cost him at the end, and then he found himself a breakup as well in the match tiebreak. But a little story I want to share with you actually about the two Jacobs, because we've had obviously Jacob Fernley and we've had Jakub Mensik with big stories today, and that was a Queen's Club. You see a lot of things on the tour, and these cute little kids running up. It was Jakub Mensik, and they were running up to him. Will you sign my tennis ball? Will you sign my tennis ball? And he was really sweet with them, and he did, and he signed, and he had a little chat. And then as they walked off, they kind of turned around and looked and said, by the way, what's your name? And he said, my name is Jacob. And they went, no way, are you Jacob Fernley? And Jakob Mensik, who just made semi-finals at Roland Garros, almost top 10 in the world, one of the brightest prospects in the world. Jacob Fernley's an amazing tennis player, but he's 150 in the world from GB. And Jakob just turned around and said, "No, unfortunately, that's not me." And he walked off. He had a bit of a smile on his face, and it was a lovely moment. And I called the kids over, and I just said, "Hey kids, do you know who that was?" And they were like, "No, no, who was it?" I said, "That was Jakob Mensik." And they were like, "No, he's the guy that just made semi-finals of French Open. I can't believe we didn't know it was him." And there was a lovely little moment. And then I bumped into Jakob in the players' cafeteria a little bit later on. I just pulled him to a side and I said, "Hey, look, that was a lovely thing you did." And it really was. He was so lovely with those kids, and he made their day and inspired, I'm sure. And I said I did pull them to the side and let them know who you were. And he said, "Look, thanks, man." He said that was great fun. That was lovely, and there was just a nice little moment. So the two Jacobs, he called himself Jacob, even though I know him as Jakob. They had two great wins today. Jacob Fernley winning in five sets, I believe he won today. Coming back from 2 sets to love against Alex Michelsen, a fantastic win. 3 hours, 31 minutes. And he said afterwards in the press conference with Harry, who control the controllables on the ground, "I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. I'm just enjoying my tennis, and I'm expressing myself on the court. That's usually when I play my best tennis. So I'm just going to keep working on doing that." And I do think that is a a big thing for all tennis players. But if we take Jacob Fernley's career to date, came out of college, smashed it for a while, just absolutely kind of flew up the rankings. No pressure on him. Every match, you're picking up points and seeing your ranking increase. And then he got into that kind of protective mode, maybe, where you are all of a sudden protecting points. And we've seen he's had a couple of injury problems. His ranking has dropped down. But it's nice to see that he's kind of finding that balance of just playing the game, and certainly kind of finding some form. So well done to Jacob Fernley. Before we move on to our tennis athlete player of the day, and then we bring on our special guest Erin Routliffe, I do want to also mention the match that's still going. Serena Williams. What an icon, right? I've just come off centre court. I've been watching a few games. The crowd are going crazy for her. She's in competitive beast mode. She does have probably the dream draw. Maya Joint is a brilliant tennis player, but Maya has only won two WTA um, higher level events matches this year. She won in Adelaide earlier this year in January, and she's won one match since then in a 1-2-5. Every other match she's lost. She's 3-15 on the year, and for her, the intimidation factor of playing Serena Williams. But it is a match that absolutely Serena could win. But Mai was doing a good job. Got a little bit nervous as the match has gone on, and now we're actually sitting in the second set tiebreak. Serena's bringing the heat. It's going to be interesting how that one goes. But her 22nd Wimbledon experience, I was watching it with my wife, and we were like, can you believe it? When we met at Wimbledon all of those years ago, she was playing, and she is going. And then our tennis athlete player of the day, before Erin jumps on, a great story. Katie Swan, back in 2018, won her first ever match at Wimbledon against Begu from Romania. And here she is today. She's been out, long-term injury, big, not played so much tennis, was even thinking about giving up tennis, started coaching in Kansas, ranking dropped to outside 1,000 14 months ago. Last resort, visited a doctor in Arizona who got her going, and she's come back and she's won 6-4, 6-4. Showed great emotion at the end of that match. A real full circle moment. 19 years old, she beat Begu in 2018. She's now 27 years old. A brilliant tennis player, great athlete, and so good to see her back in the winner's circle here at Wimbledon, and playing against the same player that she did it against all of those years ago. So a big well done to our player of the day in Katie Swan. And as I'm just getting ready for Erin to jump on, I want to just say a few things. I've been lucky enough to be around Erin over the last few years, and yeah, what a great career she's putting together. She hasn't had the strongest 2026 yet. She will, class is permanent. But yeah, world number one, uh, just over 2 years ago, or just under 2 years ago in 2024, and final of Wimbledon here in 2024. US Open champion in 2023 and 2025, WTA finals, WTA finals winner in Riyadh in 2024, and many more. Just won many 1,000 events. A brilliant story, Erin. She played at University of Alabama all of those years ago, and had a great college career. NCAA champion 2 times, and a really really cool girl who we all love, and everyone on the tour loves so much. So yeah, Erin will be jumping on. Yesterday we had Lloyd Glasspool jumping on. These tennis players aren't great. They've been told 9-10, get yourself on. Um, Erin isn't quite arriving yet. Lloyd arrived too early. He arrived and he hadn't quite read it. Erin's just texted me and said it's connecting her to the studio, but she hasn't arrived yet. So we have a little bit of a glitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly message her back, as we look on the Serena Williams match. It looks like she's maybe 4-3 down. Is that in the tie break? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and maybe jump ahead whilst Erin gets through that, and we'll actually move into our final segment of the day whilst Erin tries to connect. And hey, look at here. Speak of the devil. Look who it is.
I got it.
Is this your Wi-Fi or mine?
Is it bad?
No, just that it took you a while to connect.
Oh, I think I didn't set up the app properly. Anyway, sorry.
Do you know tennis players? Oh, look, Lloyd was 7 minutes early. You're 2 minutes late. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Well, fashionably late, I would call that.
we don't want to get Gabby on. I tell you, that 9-10 will not be easy. So a big welcome to Control the Controllables. How's Wimbledon so far for you?
Yeah, it's good. It's like I feel like every time I come, it's just as magical. Like every time I come here every year, like you have different memories, different like your year has always been different, but every time you come here, it's like a different feeling. I love it.
It absolutely is. And would you just look, the first thing I want to talk about, Erin, is, we've got obviously lots of storylines that happen at Wimbledon every year, as all
Mhm.
the Grand Slams. And I guess the first one to lead you into, Serena Williams is still on court.
Oh,
She's currently, my eyesight's not great, but I think she's 5 all in the second set tie break against Maya Joint.
oh wow.
Obviously, an icon of the game, someone who I guess is in sports, the Michael Jordans of the world, the Muhammad Ali's of the world. Serena Williams is right up there. She's made a comeback. She's played 2 events, and she saw your name in the draw in the first round of the 2 events that she's made on the comeback. So who is better positioned to talk about Serena Williams than Erin Routliffe right now? Tell us about that experience and how she was and how she looks for someone who's been out of the game for so long, 44 years old, being this is her 22nd Wimbledon. Give us a little bit about your experience with Serena the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the first time, when I drew her first round in Queens, I was like, whoa, because I knew that it was her first event. Obviously, everyone was buzzing about it. There was going to be so many people watching. And yeah, I knew it was going to be exciting, but I think it was a little bit overwhelming for me. I think um, my the my partner I played with, Melkar, she'd already played her in mixed event like 5 or 6 years ago, I think. So she'd
Okay.
already had that kind of experience, as I hadn't. I knew she was a competitor. Obviously Serena being one of the greats or the greatest of all time, I would say. I knew she was going to be prepared. So I knew she was going to be good enough and like very, very good. But yeah, it was tough being on that center court with having literally not one single person cheering for us. I think that was a really interesting atmosphere. I mean, I was grateful to be a part of it for sure. That's such an iconic venue as well. The second time I drew her in the first round, I was like, literally, are you, can I swear? Effing kidding me?
It's past 9 p.m. There's a watershed in the UK. After 9 p.m., it's game. It's all
Oh,
game. You turn on the TV, you can go for it.
okay. Yeah, no, I was kind of pissed. I was like, I can't understand how this is happening again with a different partner. She's playing with a different partner. I'm playing with a different partner. Like I was just like, okay,
And
it's
she
enough.
didn't have bad partners either.
No, my gosh, she's always been around people that are so good. So, but it was nice to have the experience of the week before. I will say, like, not. I don't think a lot of people can say that they've like literally had kind of the same similar experience like a week prior, and so I felt like I was way more prepared.
She's just won the second set, by the way, 8-6 in the tiebreak. The crowd, are,
Wow,
the
that's
crowd,
amazing.
the crowd are going crazy. I have to ask you about that. You had an overhead, your first service game of the match,
Yeah,
which we know in the tennis world that when that overhead comes in, you serve from the outside. The ball came over. It was a kind of on your inside forehand smash, or
yeah,
the most obvious and easiest way was to go boom down the line, exactly where Serena was standing,
yeah,
and you avoided her. It
yeah,
seemed
yeah.
lost the point, then lost your serve to sudden death juice.
I know.
How
Yeah.
would you can't hit the ball? I guess it's Serena Williams when you got a smash in the first game.
No,
What was the
I've never been that way. I think it's all fair game. Like I'm never one to get if someone hits me, I'm kind of just like, okay, like it's a good play. And I've
yeah
never been the one to avoid that. And it's not like it wasn't I think I to be honest, the first three games I think I was a bit of deer in headlights. Like I
yeah
wasn't thinking quite
understandable
clearly.
yeah
So in a normal if I was to give that again, like I'd like get up for it, you know what I mean, and do it and go at the feet. Like I'm never aiming to hurt anyone, but
yeah
yeah, I did. I looked back when I like watched the match back, and I was like, damn it, like why did I do that?
Yeah, well, it's tough that iconic figure standing there,
Yeah,
but I want to ask you about just a couple more little things on the day, and I know you've had an incredible career to date, lots more amazing things to happen, and I've already bigged you up before you came on, so you can listen to it on the way back.
okay,
I know you don't like compliments to your face, so I did it before you came on,
perfect.
um, but you've had your times where you thought about quitting the sport. You took a bit of time out. I know we spoke about it on the podcast before. You were working at a suntan studio, a tanning studio. One of our player of the day today is Katie Swan, a British girl who
Yep.
has openly spoke about how 12 months ago she started coaching. She was pretty much finished with the sport. Physically didn't
Oh
think
wow.
she could do it anymore, and then she saw a doctor who found a solution to what the problem that she had. She then played against Begu today in the first round. Obviously, a big deal that she's playing Wimbledon again. In 2018, when she won her first match at Wimbledon, it was against the same opponent 8 years ago.
No.
And 8 years later, after thinking that the sport's done, she's then played the same opponent and won again. So a real kind of circle moment, lots of emotion at the end of that first round match. How do you relate to that and just the emotions that we see tennis players? Some people will be going, it's just a first round Wimbledon, but
Mm.
but just what it really means, what really goes into this sport, and the ebbs and the flows and the ups and the downs and the challenges. How do you relate to Katie Swan and like stories like that?
Yeah, I mean, I actually didn't know that about Katie, so that's really, really cool that she, won today. That's awesome. I think everyone kind of has not a similar story, but we all have our ups and downs. It's such a crazy career. It's such a crazy sport where a week or 2 weeks can change your life, and I think that that's what we're all kind of chasing all the time. So we have
Yeah,
these weeks of like downs and lows, and where and I think it also there's an aspect where like you have to lose so much and you have to get really good at losing, which I think sometimes we forget because if we've
yeah,
had success, we don't lose as much, and then all of a sudden we lose a little bit more, and we're like, oh wait, we kind of have this like panic feeling about it. Um, but yeah, no, I think obviously, yeah, I stepped away from tennis for it was like probably 6 months, 6 to 7 months, I think. Obviously, got a real job, I call it. I feel like I really learned the value of $1 during that time. And
Yep.
I really did like my life. Like I really enjoyed being away from it, but I did feel like I didn't give everything. I didn't give myself the best chance to be successful when I was on tour before, because I was so hard on myself and I was so critical of myself, and I just couldn't see past that part. And then so I promised that when I came back, I would have a different perspective in the sense of like just being kinder to myself and like, you know, just giving myself a little bit of grace and kind of like learning with each opportunity and each match that I played, instead of like being so hard about like the losses and the wins, like that being the goal. So I'm sure, I mean, that's crazy that Katie did that like a year ago, and then to now be winning in like slams is amazing. But yeah, tennis is so crazy. I mean, no one really understands until you've done it or until you've seen it, been on the road and seen what players go through. And like the other thing is like no one, I think a lot of the times people forget that we're just humans. Like they're watching us on TV and they're watching us and they're like, oh my God, how could that happen? And like they have no idea what happened that morning, the night before, weeks leading up to it. Like they literally have no clue, but everyone is so quick to give an opinion on how to be better and how to win and how to blah blah blah. And it's like, I don't know, you got to be very careful about who you like listen to and all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think every tennis player has had this, not everyone, but a lot of tennis players have had that like moment where they're just like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And then when you're on the other side of that and you've like been through that, it just is what way more, it's like the sweetest thing in the world to be able to say that you've gotten through it. So yeah.
Very good. And talking about sweetest things in the world, you know, you've had incredible success. 2023, 2025 US Open champion, world number one in 2024. But if we're specifically talking about this tournament, you know, 2024 was a special one, semi-finals, mixed doubles. And we won't talk about Mike Venus's forehand return in against Sue, but we definitely won't talk about that, you know, in that semi-final. But also specifically the women's doubles final, you know, making the final. It was a 7-6, 7-6 and to Siniakova Townsend in a great final. I guess the special moment I'd like to talk to you about is that Wimbledon final day and maybe the night before. You know,
Yeah.
is it different to other tournaments? Is that even you know, from someone coming from outside of the UK? We maybe arrogantly think it is because it's Wimbledon,
Yeah.
but someone that this isn't your home slam. How was that experience playing a Wimbledon final? And I guess talk us through the night before, how you were feeling the day of when you're doing the walk through onto centre court and it all feels a bit more real. How was that experience for you?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't remember much about the night before. Like I can't even tell you what I was doing, what I was thinking. I just, yeah, I think I was just trying to keep it the same as the rest of the last 2 weeks. So I
Yeah.
probably like ate chicken fingers and fries or something. I mean, you know me. I was like
Well, I
so
know
if
the
you don't
celebration
eat
meal
that
as well that
before,
night.
yeah,
You know.
maybe if I didn't eat the chicken fingers and fries, we would have won. So like, damn it. But the day of, yeah, I remember when they said we could do like a walkthrough because we'd never been on center court. I remember because we went with you and Bruce. It was the four of
Yeah.
us, right? Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
I
Which
thought
was
that
quite a
was really
special
cool.
moment, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really, really cool.
The
And
band
just
were playing, I think.
say it
They
again.
were the band were auditioning or practicing
Yeah,
on the
something was
court at the
going
time.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they showed us like where the Royals were most of the time sit, and I freaked out. I don't know. I thought that was like that was a really cool moment. And then was it at the men's doubles before that went like 7-6, 6-7, 7-6? And we were just
Yes.
like we warmed up like 45 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but that was exciting
Incre-
because I do like when matches before me go really long. Um, I like chilling. I like that time before. It's like kind of you're like anticipating. Um, and then I do remember us talking about if our match went really long, like maybe we were gonna have to stop for the noise. You remember? Because we lost
Yeah, there
seven
was
six,
something.
7-6.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was like there were some niche things that were going on. And yeah, I mean playing there, I don't regret anything, honestly. Obviously, in my career, I would love a Wimbledon title if it comes. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But um, I thought we played really well. I thought we really got up for the moment, and I thought that I don't think I have any regrets about that match.
Yeah.
I don't know if Gabby would, but I think that we really stayed together and we were a really good team and we stayed like we played well and we made them in big moments come up with really big shots. We didn't really give them anything for free, which I think if you're gonna, win a slam, then if you have to do that to do it, then that's okay. Like that's fine. And I think, afterwards we were pretty intentional about having it be a celebration rather than this like defeat. So we were like drinking in the gym area on the last
We
Sunday.
were celebrating in style,
Yes.
followed by Uber Eats, McDonald's. I mean, it doesn't get
Yeah.
better. Do you know what I mean?
No, seriously. And we got
I
to
do
like
remember you didn't order enough McDonald's. That's one.
no, which is
Maybe
so
that's.
unlike me because if I order McDonald's normally, like I order way too much.
I remember
So that was
thinking,
weird.
really, is this going to go around 12 of us? Really?
Yeah, that was weird. And then we were hanging out with like the volunteers, the gym
Yeah.
people or the workers. Oh, that was so fun. No, it was an amazing experience. Honestly, everything around it, like the match, like whatever. Move on.
Yeah. I actually have one memory that it was quite because I'd worked with Harry Heliavara and then
Yeah.
know Henry Patton very well and like them a lot, and I was watching in the coach's locker room beforehand as we were getting prepared, and I remember just being in like all of a sudden I was in floods of tears watching that because it was such an
Oh,
emotional match,
yeah.
and they were so. And then as we then started walking out, I don't know if you remember this, but we got to the top of the stairs, and Harry and Henry were there, and there was just
Oh.
this little moment, and they then gave hugs, and I remember Harry was like crying on my shoulder, and Harry,
Stop.
yeah, and then you guys walked past, and I think you guys gave them a quick hug, and I remember thinking, oh geez, this maybe isn't good that they've just experienced that emotion.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh God, I hope they start well. You think these
Yeah.
things as coaches, oh my God, have we messed up here? That maybe shouldn't have happened. But you guys started great, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, whew, they're fine. But
I didn't even remember that. I
do you
genuinely don't remember
not?
that. No, not
Yeah,
at
no,
all. So that
right,
just shows
okay.
you how locked
Yeah,
in I guess we were.
yes, exactly. And that was but that was, that sometimes I think people don't realize that what's going on behind the scenes as well. It's like
Totally.
you are experiencing the ins and outs of maybe a match before, and then
Yeah.
that kind of coming together of what had happened.
Yeah.
So anyway, amazing, and thank you for sharing. Our last thing, Erin, whilst we've got you, um, it was okay our quick fire round last night, but it wasn't great. And that, I
Okay.
don't know if that was Lloyd or if that was the
The
questions.
questions. Okay. I'll let you know.
So we've changed a few questions, but we're open to feedback after. So then
Okay.
by day 14, our quick fire round is going to be like
Unreal.
spot
Who's
on.
tomorrow night? Do you have a tomorrow night
Tomorrow
already?
night I do. We're fully booked until next Wednesday. Like this is like I'm ahead of the game. This
Yeah.
unless somebody lets me down. Tomorrow night is Freddie Nielsen,
Okay.
2012
Yeah,
Wimbledon
yeah.
champion.
No, of course. Yeah.
We're getting ahead of the game here. Johnny O'Mara on Thursday, who had a
Oh,
big run in the mixed. Calvin Benton, of course. We've got to have Calv. Calv's
yeah.
coming on this weekend. Danny Sapsford, you might not know Danny, but Danny had an incredible story. That's Saturday night. Danny, 1 year pre-qualified, qualified, made third round, and played Pete Sampras on centre court in the third round. So it was a
Wow.
bit of a Marcus Willis story, but like
Yeah.
15 years before. So anyway, that well, I'm letting the cat out of the bag. These are all supposed to be secrets. So quick. You've got this ability. You should be running the podcast. No deal. Right, here we go. Let's see what we got.
Okay.
Your best Wimbledon memory as a fan?
A fan?
Yeah, as a fan of tennis.
Oh, as a fan of tennis. Like when I was watching as like a kid or something.
Yeah. What's your best memory?
As a fan, as a fan, as a fan, as a fan. No, you know what? No. I'm going when Lulu Sun made quarters of Wimbledon and I was like her fan. That's my best Wimbledon memory because that was sick
That
watching.
was that was. Finish this sentence.
Okay.
When I think of Wimbledon, I think of.
Strawberries and cream.
It's the obvious one, isn't it? How much
Yeah.
cream? How much cream do you put in?
Just like not like overflowing the strawberries, but like halfway. I would say halfway.
And then when you finish the strawberry, what do you do with the cream?
Drink it. Don't you?
Well, I wanted to badly today. I was in it. I was eating. My kids got me some strawberries and cream, and I
Yeah.
was eating them. But I was talking to a couple of people from different, I guess,
Yeah.
different spot there. People that I'm not just that familiar with. And I finished the strawberries, and I had the cream right at the bottom, and I desperately wanted to drink it, but it wasn't
Yeah.
the right.
Yeah.
So I had to put it in the bin. So I lost that cream. So
That
I'm pleased
sucks.
you do that as well.
Yeah.
Who would you most like to play on centre court at Wimbledon, past or present?
Um, I don't know, Andy Murray? Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I swore. So
It's after 9 o'clock. It's all good. After 9:30, you can move to the F word as well, and it's
okay,
just on
cool.
9:30.
Yeah, I would say in mixed or something. That'd be cool. It'd be sick.
It would be.
I've played Serena. I would have probably said Serena, but now like I've done that. I'm good now.
That's gone twice.
Yeah.
Done it twice. What song would you like to walk out to on centre court?
Oh my god.
We know it's Taylor Swift, so just
Yeah,
pick,
obviously.
pick
Obviously.
between straight.
I would say Taylor Swift. I would say maybe my favorite song of all time is Death by a Thousand Cuts. That doesn't really fit the vibe of walking onto center court.
That sounds dark. That sounds like a dark walk on. Maybe
Oh, I
walk
don't
off
know.
after you've lost.
Yeah, maybe. But like I went to I would actually maybe say like a Shania Twain song because I went to Harry Styles on Saturday and Shania Twain opened and it was the most iconic duo ever. So like maybe I go like Shania Twain like Man,
And
I
I
feel
feel
like
like
a
a woman.
woman.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. Yeah, woman, girl power, right
Yeah.
there. Who's the greatest ever women's grass court player?
I mean, is it not Serena?
Is it not
I don't.
Martina?
Oh, yeah.
It's your call. Your call. I'm not Dina.
Yeah, damn, I don't know. I guess Martina. I guess Martina. I don't know. I'm panicking.
And what about men?
Federer.
It's got to be, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's Federer.
Borg could be up there.
Oh.
Djokovic is getting closer.
Now that I'm wearing Bjorn Borg, I should say that probably.
Exactly. What's the hardest shot to execute on a grass court?
Oh, God. Maybe like the hardest shot to execute on a grass court. Maybe like a heavy ball. Like I feel like it's tough to do that. Yeah.
What's
Like
what's one thing you would change about Wimbledon?
change. Um, you know how like they changed a couple years ago how you could wear dark shorts under your dresses? I
Yeah.
want you to be able to wear bright colors. Like hot pink, blue, neon green, yellow. You can only wear like gray,
Oh, is
black.
that right? So they're
I
still
think so.
controlling it. So you can go
Yeah,
coloured, but it's still controlled.
I think so. Yeah, and I think it would be kind of cool if you could wear like colors, which I know is not iconic. It like the not the history, but anyway.
No, I like it. I like it. We've got to evolve. What's the best advice young tennis players should remember when playing tennis?
Um, I would say that like as a young tennis player that like even when you're young, you know yourself better than anyone else and to really embrace your strengths. I think a lot of the time when young tennis players are playing growing up, everyone's like, "Oh, act a certain way, be a certain way and, you know, don't do this, don't do that, blah blah blah." But I think when people in general, but I do think kids even when they embrace themselves, then that's when like the best of them comes out. So I'd say that.
Love it. Last question. Very important question at this time of year. Who is winning the World Cup?
Oh my god. Um, like you probably couldn't have anyone on your podcast that has been more removed and uncaring about the World Cup. So I will go with I know like I think
It,
Brazil's good, right?
is it
Brazil
coming
maybe?
home? Is it coming home? That's what we want to
No.
know. It's not coming
No.
home.
No offense to you, but I don't think it is. Anyway, no wait, I mean Canada's never been past the round of 16, but they're still in, so let's go. Canada.
Canada's still going. Erin Routliffe, you are a superstar always. Thank you for coming on the show.
Anytime.
And I'm going to let you go now whilst we then move on with our Dear Dan segment, which to
Oh,
finish off, people get to
okay.
ask their questions to me. If you have anything you want to ask me, it can be anonymous. If you've got advice, Erin, you can send your questions in over the next couple of days. You
Thanks
see,
for having me.
thank you for coming on. Thank you. Good
Bye.
luck. Bye bye. So there we have it, our second guest. What a brilliant guest she always is, Erin Routliffe. How amazing is she? Last segment, I promised you 35 minutes. I'm nearly going over that. So, dear Dan, we've had from Nathan DJF. Um, what's my favourite part of Wimbledon? Strawberries and cream. My favourite part of Wimbledon, honestly, it's one of those things for me, Wimbledon. People always ask me, what's the best tennis tournament in the world? And my mind tends to go to maybe Australian Open or US Open for that, because I just love those as tennis events. For me, Wimbledon's bigger than that. That's why I don't say Wimbledon, because it's an event. It's not just a tennis tournament. It's a garden party. It's the whole event, the history, the feeling, the energy. It just everything about it. Like to be here is a privilege. To like everything. I do like the tradition. I'm not necessarily someone who loves traditions all the time, but I do think having certain traditions and history is quite magical. Erin used that word magical as well, and it really is. It's a magical place. There's certain things I think they can do better. I think it doesn't need to be certain traditions in other ways. It can be a bit stuck up at times in certain ways, but as a fan, as a tennis enthusiast, it just is just one of the most special events that there is out there, and to have the opportunity to be here is really quite magical. There's a feeling to it. There's a smell to it. It's hard to quite put your finger on what it is, but it's special beyond special, and long live Wimbledon, and the opportunity to be here. We got another one here. What physical quality do you feel is most influential to performance on a grass court? Oh, this comes from the tennis athlete team. Physical quality most influential to performance on grass. Glute strength is vital. That ability to kind of be in that set position on a grass court. You've got to be low. The way that you move, it's very different. The movement on a grass court is different. It's easy to get wrong footed. You've got to be in a position where you can glide a little bit more. It's not quite as stompy as you can be maybe on a hard court, or slidey, even though they are starting to slide a little bit. As slidey as you can be on a clay court. The reality is you are dealing quite often with the courts being a little bit slippy, and the ball's obviously staying a bit lower. You can't just get away with flicking the ball. The Slazenger ball also can get quite heavy as it gets a little bit old. So you have to be lower center of gravity. So to have that strength through the hips and the glute areas, I would say is the big area on the grass courts. And then just making sure that you've also got good stability with your shoulders, and you're going to have to serve a lot. Again, the ball can get quite heavy serving. So for tennis players out there, making sure they are doing their shoulder exercises, taking care of all of those parts of the game and their bodies, to make sure that they're ready. I think that's a big area as well. And our last question of the day comes from Nikki from Reading. What is the atmosphere like during slams in the players area? Do the players talk to each other? Good question, Nikki. Yeah, they do. I think it's pretty cool. I think you tend to get. That's what I like about like the World Cup and stuff. Like I was speaking to some. I know I'm not a player, but speaking to the Mexicans today about a potential England Mexico last 16 match. Nice chats with all the Brazilians. You get little areas. You've obviously got friendships naturally. I guess a bit like school, right? We're all human beings, so a bit like school. People naturally kind of magnetized to each other. So you would have lots of that. A lot of people with their teams, but a lot of teams integrating. And I guess in the player area as well, in the slams, you do get quite big teams. So you've got a lot of people. So then there's obviously introductions happening with to different people. So what you would tend to happen is a lot of the big stars who are doing a lot of media work. Those are the ones that are kind of carrying the tours and selling the tours with what they're doing. I would say that they tend to be a little bit more separated. They're conserving their energy, and as the matches start to happen, the players don't spend as much time around as they might earlier on in the Grand Slam before the matches have started. I do think as the tournament goes on, the two saddest places in the world are airports and tennis tournaments, because what you then have with the atmosphere is you have, and what I mean by airports, for someone like me who travels a lot, I associate an airport with saying goodbye to people. Some people associate an airport with going on holiday and it's a happy place, whereas I tend to associate it saying goodbye to family, going off to American university, going off to tournaments, saying goodbye to wife, saying goodbye to kids. Not so easy. And it's the same at tennis tournaments. Half the draws are losing every day. So you have this. It hurts, right? It hurts losing. It's so you have kind of a bit of a sober groups that are on their tables that are maybe, analysing. I saw Svitolina talking to her coach. She lost today. I saw her talking, and it's just a somber, not sober, what am I talking about? A bit of a somber mood, talking about the matches. And then you've got the teams that are winning. And as they go deep into the event, you can just feel that kind of energy of going deep into the tournaments. But I would say there's a lot of, I think the majority of the tour realise that we're all on the same team ultimately. We all are playing tennis. Tennis is our industry. It's our love. It's our passion. And there's lots of nice conversations. Certainly, the doubles tour has a really special bond. I think the doubles tour is really kind of comes together, and I think you see that as well, probably even more so than with the singles players. So, guys, that's our day 2 done. We have obviously lots of matches to come tomorrow, and we do have Freddie Nielsen, the 2012 the men's doubles champion. He didn't make some great calls in the preview. If you haven't listened to our preview of Wimbledon yet, so I'll be giving him a bit of a ribbing for that. But he's always a great guest. I'm sure we're going to have lots more great stories tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. Get your questions in for Dear Dan, and we look forward to being back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Hopefully celebrating an England win in the World Cup as well. But until next time, I'm Dan Kiernan, and we are Control the Controllable.